And welcome everybody to WTL Where's the Line? I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
Jabron. What's going on?
Oh, Jabron, the parlay pounder.
Yep, and I'm back throwing more parlays every week. Let's go. Yeah.
If anyone follows us on Twitter, they know.
Yeah, they know we're throwing some cash down.
You're going to be throwing down some parlays. We got a dandy of a show this week. I mean, we're talking USFL,
Yep.
NBA playoffs,
Woo!
some key matchups, and then, of course, UFC Fight Night.
Yeah.
Pretty good little matchup. Sneaky, maybe a little under the radar, but not for people that get into UFC.
Exactly. No, not a lot of people are talking about this fight, but the people that follow it definitely are. This is a fun fight, and NBA playoffs. Everybody's going nuts right now. Shout out to T-Wolves. Let's go.
Here we go.
And USFL, everybody's new favorite football league, so let's go.
We spent a little bit of time talking the USFL.
Yeah.
Last week, got a lot of good response out of that. And it's a fun league.
It is.
It's a fun league. Points are being put up, or crazy rules.
Yep.
It's almost like a developmental league, where you see AA and AAA baseball. They try different,
rules and stuff like that.
Yeah, bigger bases, start a guy at second base.
Yeah.
I think you're seeing some of that here with the USFL. So it's really, and it's good football.
Yeah, it's good football and it's fun, and everybody loves football, so it's fun to fill that gap, and especially with the gamblers out there, it's fun to fill the gap for football
we gotta talk
as well.
Gamblers.
Yep.
And the level of competition is also good because it has that element of AAA baseball where guys are grinding because they want to get to that next level.
Yep.
And that's exactly what the USFL is. It's kind of like AAA baseball.
Exactly. You kind of see that it's kind of split down the middle, Andy, with guys that are still trying to make it and guys that have made it before,
right?
And you have that experience of the next level. So the talent's good. The rules are fun, and there's some NFL coaches in there as well that are kind of passing down that knowledge on how to get to the league. So it's fun.
Good coaching, great players. All right, so let's start with Saturday afternoon, Tampa Bay Bandits versus the Houston Gamblers. Both teams are 1-1.
Yep.
Okay, but we got the Tampa Bay Bandits at a -1, -1.5 in most books.
Yeah, no, and here's my first upset of the week, Andy. I don't know why this always lands on the first pick that I do, but no, I really, really like the Gamblers to cover here and even win the game outright. Gamblers have scored 45 points in the two games, and I think they have the advantage over the Bandits, who have only scored 20 points in their two games. I really like the Gamblers to cover, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Clayton Thorson.
Wildcat.
Yep, Northwestern guy. I think 2016, 2017, the old Huskers were playing against him. I just think he's the best player between these two teams. I just think he's the best offensive player for sure. He put up a couple touchdowns. He did throw some interceptions last week, but I think with airing it out in this league, it's going to happen regardless. So I really like the Gamblers.
You like the Gamblers. You like the gunslinger mentality there. But what about the Bandits' defense? I mean, they're scoring only 20 points, but they've won half their games. I mean, it's early in the season.
It is.
I get it. But I don't think you can discredit Tampa Bay and their defense. You just think the Gamblers are too high octane of an offense here?
No, I'll give you another reason. The Bandits only scored 3 points last week.
Uh-oh.
And they allowed 34. That is against the best team in the league right now, the New Orleans Breakers. But they haven't showed, the Bandits have not showed me enough yet early in this season to show me that they have an offense and have enough to stay with the Houston Gamblers here.
So, I mean, this is an opportunity to get on some plus money, plus 115 in some books. Not a lot of books, not all books, I should say, cover the USFL or get too into it. I mean, it's a new league, and you're still figuring out, cappers are still figuring out players and teams and trends. Those are all developing here. So this might be an opportunity where you could get on some plus money at a decent odd there.
Yeah, no, exactly what like you're saying is I just don't think the books have really figured these guys out yet. And I'm not saying that I have fully either, but I just think this is a spot right here to get some plus money, to take that 1 point and take the Houston Gamblers. The Bandits do have a really, really fun quarterback as well. They got Jordan Tamamu, who he was a Hawaii product that played at Ole Miss. He played at Ole Miss, so he has the pedigree of an SEC quarterback that likes to sling it, and he's a dual threat quarterback. He had 45 yards rushing last week as well. So, and he's bounced around the NFL as well, just as well as Clayton has. I just really think that Clayton is the more pro-style quarterback that really this league is kind of looking for, and is going to push the gamblers ahead in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go along with you there. I always think it's a good idea, or just a macro look at it, putting your money on the best player for the best team, and that's what we're doing here, looking at the Houston Gamblers.
Yep, I agree.
All right, so let's fast forward to the Sunday afternoon matchup.
All right.
The Pittsburgh Maulers versus the Michigan Panthers.
Yeah.
Two teams sitting at 0-2.
Yeah.
Something's got to give.
Something's got to give here, Andy. Like we said, both teams are 0-2. The Panthers' defense has been a lot better, only allowing 27 points in the two games, where the Maulers have allowed 47 points in their games combined. The Panthers' offense need to get going. They had the first overall pick in the draft and got Shea Patterson out of Michigan, a guy that kind of beat up on the Huskers a little bit. But they really haven't been able to get going at all, only scoring 18 points in their two games combined. I really think they kind of turn it around here, and I think they're going to get their first win of the year, and I think they cover the 2.5. I really like them by 3, and right now where I'm at, they have it at 2.5.
Yeah, I'm looking at most books at minus 2.5 with the Panthers. This is split right down the middle, though, BPI at 50% for both teams.
Yeah.
So you're looking at minus 10, minus 115 regardless, but the favorites here are the Michigan Panthers with the Michigan product, Shea Patterson.
Exactly. And I'll give you another kind of reason why, is that the Pittsburgh Maulers have just, their defense has been really, really, really bad, and they still have only scored 26 points in their combined games. So they really haven't got their offense going, and their defense is a lot worse than the Panthers are.
I mean, but that also speaks volumes to the type of entertainment we're going to be treated to here, when you're only scoring 26 points and you're expected to get beat by maybe 2 touchdowns.
Exactly. Yeah, no, agreed.
Agreed.
And another name that I kind of want to throw out there is Stevie Scott III. He's an ex-Indiana running back that we, got to watch in the Big Ten a little bit.
Yep,
so
some more Big Ten players there.
He's another player for the Panthers that I think is probably going to have a big day against that Maulers defense. So I'm riding with the Michigan Panthers at 2.5 here.
Couple names there to look at for player props. Not that you're going to find a whole lot of them. Maybe on some of those daily type websites or
DraftKings
apps.
And all that kind of stuff. We'll do all that stuff, but most of your books won't have it yet, just because they haven't figured these players out yet, Andy.
Right, but if you stick with us on Twitter and everywhere else, maybe we'll be throwing some of those out later in the week, Saturday, Sunday, keeping you guys tuned in on that front. So let's head back to kind of the game of the week.
Yes, sir.
The Birmingham Stallions. Sitting at 2-0. Taking on the mighty New Orleans Breakers, two of the best teams in the league, undefeated. Once again, something's got to give, and someone's going to be going home with a big old L in the loss column here. Who's it going to be?
Yes, sir. So what I'm doing is the Breakers are a 3.5-point favorite, and I think it should be closer to 6 or 7 points. I really like this team. I think this is the outright best team in the league. The Breakers have only allowed 20 points in their games combined, while putting up 60. So, while the Stallions really have a really, really good offense, scoring 61 points in their two games, have allowed 52. So I just give the Breakers a really good edge here. I really think that the Breakers can cover this 3.5, and I'll tell you why. Kyle Slaughter might actually be the best player. I think this guy might be the actual best player in the USFL. This guy has played for six plus different NFL teams. He was the offensive player of the week for the USFL.
He's hot. He's hot.
He put in 269 yards through the air with 2 touchdowns this past week. I think he's the best player, and he definitely showed it last week.
And I think you're starting to see cappers agree with you. It's consensus 3.5, but DraftKings, you mentioned DraftKings a moment ago, they've already bumped it up to -4 with the New Orleans Breakers being the favorite here. and that's at a minus 105. So you still, I mean, it's not the best line or whatever.
It's pretty good, though.
But it's still pretty good. And most books, wherever you're at, is still at that 3.5. So there's a little bit more value for you to go after.
Exactly.
What I'm looking at here, I like the overs. You mentioned those the points that these two offenses are putting up. And that over to me, what, 44?
44.5 right now.
44.5. I mean, I feel like both teams are going to score 44. I mean, they're liable to score 44 by themselves.
Exactly. I think New Orleans definitely can, and the way that the Stallions have been putting up points, looks like they can too. I think what you're saying is that you have a little parlay brewing there. I know that I'm thinking about it. Now that you said that, Andy, I really like that 44.5 over, especially with these two teams. Especially with the Stallions, giving up a lot of points in their earlier games. You gotta kind of take that with a grain of salt with the Breakers, because that defense is very, very good, or it seems to be. We're only 2 games in. And these are the best 2 teams. I think we're headed for a shootout.
And that's where I'm kind of hanging my hat on is the Stallions. That's what they're accustomed to. They don't know any other way.
Yeah.
And it's just put it in the end zone, give one up, put it back in the end zone, get the ball back. I mean,
go for 3, go for 2, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, what were some of those zany rules, like the 2-point conversion? I mean,
you can go for 3 from the 10-yard line. I think you can go for 2 from the 5. If you don't want an onside kick but want the ball back, you can go for 4th and 12 on your own 33.
Right.
Which it's a way better odds. Way better odds than an onside kick. So go for it. Put up those points. So I really like the over, like you're talking about, but. My play of the week in the USFL is the Breakers by 3.5. I really think you guys should go hit it right now, because I think, like you're saying, it's going to stretch maybe to 5, maybe to 6 to 7. So get it at 3, get it at 3.5. I like this pick.
Yeah, and we have some really good players on both sides of the ball, as you kind of went over, but we both agree that, the returning player of the week in the USFL, he's the gunslinger for New Orleans.
Exactly.
And once again, I'll go back to that. It's never a bad idea to put your money on the best player playing for the best team, and that's what it looks like we have here for the New Orleans Breakers. And I'm really going to be focusing on that over, especially now just sitting at that 44.5. I want to get on that before it moves up, like we're starting to see the line itself move up from 3.5 to 4 on some books.
Yes, sir, guys. Go put it in now. Andy literally just made me do this, so I'm putting in a parlay with the 3.5 and the 44.5 right now. Lock it in. It's a lock. It's a lock. It's a lock, guys. So
you lock it up.
With Kyle Slaughter, I think he's going to put in about four touchdowns in the air, and I really like him to cover as well.
Well, there we go. All right, so real quick, this segment was brought to us by the Nebraska Brewing Company's Summertime Brew, appropriately named Ale Storm, the official beer of the Omaha Storm Chasers.
Yeah.
The low hoppiness lets all the malt flavor shine through, resulting in a truly enjoyable and refreshing ale, and I can attest that because I'm drinking one right now.
They are very good, and, go to Storm Chasers as well.
Hey, yeah. Nebraska Brewing Company, world class in every glass.
Heck yeah.
All right, folks, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to be talking NBA playoffs, a couple closeout game opportunities on the line. Also, Friday night, fight night of the UFC.
Yes, sir.
WTL, don't go anywhere, folks.